Okay, so let's just quickly connect these remaining one wash and basin. So similar to before, I will drag this out to ensure I maintain all the levels, and I want to position this where I want it to. I'll right click on it and do RO rotate, drop, I'll do 90 degree, then move it into position. Now I need to draw my pipe. So I'll create similar, right click, create similar. Then one trick I can use here is, since this angle valve is close to this riser, I can just bring it direct at low level to enter into it. So let me move my pipe into place. I want to go and create a similar to a pipe I have at low level before. Let me pick this segment of pipe, create similar, which is 189 mm from finish level. So I will just do this, draw it across, then drop pipe. Okay, so I need to go to my section to connect it into it. So drop pipe. So that segment is too short. Let me move this back. Draw pipe and do AL. Then I'll go to my section view. I just want to sort out the last remaining. So I want to connect it into this. Okay, so it's not aligned. Let me confirm AL. I'll go to section 1. So the segment is too short. So I think what I'll do is, as I said, we are coordinating at the same time we are drawing our pipes. So it's telling me that, oh, I need to, it's telling me that this segment of my pipe is too large. Now, another thing we can do is, I can see that the number of, like this, my section view is looking crowded. So I can hide some sections of pipe. To hide some sections of my pipe, I'll right click on whatever section of pipe I want to hide. Then I can right click and say hide in view. So hide elements. Another option I can do is I can right click on it and type, the shortcut is EH to hide it in view. Then to call it back to your view, if you go down to our the lower ribbon on our view, you can see this symbol, this light bulb symbol. That's the symbol for our hidden element. So let me hide something more significant. Let me say tap, tap, tap. Let me hide all my sanitary fixtures. Let me do EH. Now, for me to see those things I've hidden, to review them back, I'll click on this light bulb symbol. So this is my hidden element view. It's showing me elements that I've hidden in that view. So I can just do tap, 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 select again. Then at the top here, you can see unhide elements. So all these elements I've hidden before will return back to the view. I will unhide, then toggle to turn off that hidden element view. So I can just connect my pipe, and then bring back the pipe I hid. So I'll review my elements, hidden elements, then unhide, toggle to turn off. So I'll go to this view. I want to connect into my beep tab. Sorry, into my stopcock. So I'll right click and draw pipe, connect it into it. So it's saying not enough space. So you see that when designing a Revit, you will probably need to toggle between a lot of views. Control Z. You probably need to toggle between a lot of views to achieve our aim. So I'll go to a section again. Let me look for a smaller section. RO to rotate 90 degrees. Then go here. So I want to see what is happening. So let me right click on this and do connecting to. Seeing I want the other side. Yep. So I can draw my pipe out, drop pipe. Then I want this to be 20 mm. Change this to 20 mm. And I'll go back to my plan view. So this is my hot water and my cool water. I'll do the right thing and move them to where they are supposed to be. So I'll right click on my angle valve again and do connect into 20 mm. I'll pick this. So there's not enough space. So how do I resolve this? Let me check my 3D view. So let me draw out a section of pipe from this angle valve. And see if it's connecting to it. Okay, let me go to modify, tray, extend. There's not enough space. So let me move this section of pipe in a little bit. So you can see what's happening. We have not created enough space in between our pipe. So what I'll do is I'll route it this way. Drop pipe. I have now made it with an elbow so that it will be easy for us to make that connection because we have little room to work with in this wall. So I'll click on this section of the pipe. Let me reduce it to about 100. Then I'll do my trim extend TR. Click on both segments of pipe I want to join together. So let's confirm we are not clashing on our 3D view. We are clashing a little bit. We have a little bit of clash. So I might want to bring down. Okay, let's move this forward and see if we can avoid that clash. No, can't move forward more than that. So what I can do is I can change the elevation of this angle valve. Let me reduce it a little bit for this section to 550. Okay, so we've avoided that clash. So I want the hot water to follow suit to be 550. So you can see that we are making this exception for only this area because other angle valves are at 600 mm from the finished floor level. So we are only making this, I'm only making this exception here because I can see that I'm going to have a clash. So to connect our hot water, let me create similar and drop it here. Then draw a section of pipe out of my hot water pipe. Then connect this into it. So I need to align first. AL align. So we have that. Now, what I also want to do is ensure that our model is as accurate as possible. So I want to add my flexible connectors for the wash basins. So I will right click on this, draw flex pipe, just draw 2 sections which will connect. Then for this side, right click. Okay, so I need a good angle to view that. So right click, draw flex pipe. Let me draw two sections. So let's see where our connectors for this wash basin is. So my cold water is here. Okay, so let's look at it from a section view. Let me drag this into place. So this my flexible is too long. Too long. So let me just move it somewhere closer. So I'll check it in my section view. And I want to connect it into it. So I have hot water on the right. Correct. Correct. What is happening? Okay, it's connected to the sanitary point. So let me do it in 3D. Okay. Okay. So permit me to do this in 3D view. So it's connecting into Control Z. So I'll click on it. I don't know, there's something wrong with this family. So let me just quickly edit this family and ensure the connectors are operating properly. So edit family. Go to 3D. So it seems no component of this family is editable. Should allow me edit this connector. So there is something funny going on with this family. Hidden line. Let me go to front view. So basically, it's not allowing me to. So this family, and this is where we have to be careful with the families we use. It's not allowing me edit any of these parts. Okay. One. Okay, so let's just work with what we have. Click on the flexible pipe, connect it here. It's connecting. Okay. It's connecting rightly on the cold water pipe, but it's not connecting rightly on the auto tap section. So allow me to change this. So Ctrl Z. So for the cold water, connects directly. Bring this guy here. Connect. So for this family is something I would need to look at. But so the issue here is that it is connecting the hot water to the drainage point, which is not supposed to be. So let's proceed. Then now we are done with modeling for our female section of the toilet of the toilet. Now at the most basic level, we've designed, or let me say we've modeled a sanitary and domestic cold water system at the most basic level. Now we need a way to present our drawings to a technical, both technical and non-technical personnel, to be for them to be able to understand what we've designed. So we need to annotate our pipes. Now, there is about 2 ways that to annotate our pipes. We can either use tags or you can use text, depending on your organization or your personal preference. Some people prefer text, some people prefer tags. Now, I'll show us an example of both. Now I can decide to say TX. But the advantage of tags over text is that it is automatic. As long as you've modeled rightly, your tag will adopt the sizes of pipes you've placed in your model. Now, for the first way of annotating a piping system, so TX, I can say 20 mm hot water pipe. I'm using HWP, I'm using it as an abbreviation for hot water pipe. 20 mm hot water pipe, and then I can add a leader. Yes, sir. Okay. Someone is asking a question. The chat box. Hello, engineer. Are you modeling hot water return as well? No, sir. We are modeling just a basic hot water system. That's just the basic hot water system with supply. So you can see that this facility is not large enough to have an hot water recirculation pump or a secondary hot water line. So we are modeling a basic hot water system, just a oversink electric hot water heater to supply to various sanitary fixtures. Now, as I said, there are two ways for us to annotate. We can either use text for flexibility. That's what I've done. All I did was type TX text, or I'm going to come to annotate. I'll go to text and type in, let's say, 25 mm cold water pipe. Then I can add a leader. I'll click on it. I can add a leader. I can either add a straight leader. I can remove my leader, add a flexible leader. So, but I'll prefer to add a straight leader. Then if I click on this, I can do edits to change the size. I can decide, okay, I want my text to be too big. So let's change it to text size to 4 mm. Let's say I want to change the color and make my annotation fancy. Let me change it to this custom color. I don't know the name for that color. Then I can say I want to change the leader type to, I want it filled. 20-degree, apply, okay. You can see what happens now. My text has changed. And I can decide to say, okay, edit type. Let me change it to filled. Or let me try open dot apply, okay. So you can see that this has changed. That's one way to annotate our text, annotate our pipes. Then also one thing I would like to mention is your text is scale dependent. It depends on the scale you apply to your view. Now, see what happens when I change my scale to 1:50. You see that my text gets smaller. Now, one trick I have learned is the scale you are multiply when you are placing your views on sheets. For you to know the exact size of your text on that sheet, multiply your scale by your sheet's length. It will give you the size of your text. So for example, now let's say this my text is size what? 4 mm, and I want to place it on, can I get a pen? I want to place it on an A1 sheet, which is about 840 by 4, let's just say 450. Let's say 850 by 450. Now, for you to know the size of this your text, it will adopt. Now, you see that when I go smaller in scale, my text also goes smaller. So I will say 50 times either my length, I will need a constant reference, maybe the length of my sheet or the breadth of my sheet. 50 times 450. That will tell you around the size your text will be. The reason why I'm saying this is because most of the times we try to maintain a constant, we want a consistent size in our text or in our annotation. But because sometimes you have one view, you have a view at 1:50, you have another view at 1:100, and you see that those texts, because of this difference in scale, the texts are appearing to be not so similar. So what I will now do now to know the exact size to change this my text to, based on that calculation, I'll come to this edit. If I calculate it backwards and say that, okay, maybe I need to change this to 2.5 to be able to achieve the same size for, so I'm having a sheet, I'm having two sheets. Both of them are A1. On one view, I have 1:50, on another view, I have 1:100. Now, to ensure that the text stays the same, based on that calculation that we do, I'll now decide, okay, on my 1:50 sheet, I need my text to be 4 mm. On my 1:100 sheet, I need my text to be 2.5 to be able to maintain a consistency in text size. So that calculation, I will share it after this class. It was something I had to sit down with based on client requests. They wanted all the text to match. So that calculation, I'll share it after this class, but I'm just letting you know that the size of your text or your tags, your annotations in general, depends on the scale. They gets bigger or gets smaller with your scale. Now, your text is one way to annotate. The second way is to tag. I'll come to annotate. The first way to tag is tag by category. Now, tag by category will pick whatever it is. Okay, now you see that this is now is telling me 20 mm diameter. This is saying, let me check this size. Let me check my size. There's a shortcut for tag. The shortcut for tag is TG. TG. The shortcut for tag is TG, as someone asked here. Now, annotation is another section of this training, but for the purpose of this training, we'll just quickly run through it at the surface level to make this tag more suitable for our use. Now, I can tell that this is 50 mm pipe, but 50 mm of what? Is it 50 mm of cold water? Is it 50 mm of hot water? Is it 50 mm of soil waste pipe? Is it 50 mm of wastewater pipe? How do I now allow Revit to give me maybe an abbreviation or a text to associate with it? Now, what I want to do is, let's look at this pipe, our wastewater pipe. Let me go to edit. Now, what I've done is, I think I've created an abbreviation for my different types of pipes under their type. So let's see, we have description, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so this does not have an abbreviation. Let's look at one of the cold water pipes. So we don't have an abbreviation. Okay, now let's add an abbreviation to this our type of pipe. You will understand why I'm doing that now. So let's say type model description. Let's use this description as cold water pipe. Now, apply. Okay. Now, I now need to edit this my tag to be able to draw that information from the description. I'll click on, just so you know, your tags, your annotations are also a form of a family. So when I click on this tag, you can see edit family as well. I'll click on edit family. I can see size. Now, there are two ways I can go about it. I can say, okay, I want this my annotation to have the Ctrl Z, to have that description on another line, or I can have it by the side. Now let's do it both on another line and by the side. Now, I'll click on this. What you are looking at, these two things you are looking at are labels. They are called labels. Because what they do is they draw information from your Revit data. That's why Revit is garbage in, garbage out. Whatever you give it is what it will give you back. Now, I want to edit this label. You can see edit label. As I said, I'm doing this on the surface level. I want to remove this. I don't want this to reference size again. I'm removing size. I want it to add, I'll now look for description. You can remember we put cold water pipe under our description. I will add it to this. Now it's asking sample value. Let's just put a sample value of dash dash. Now I can decide to add a prefix or a suffix. So this prefix or suffix is hard coded. So no matter what it is, so for example, my diameter side, I can put it as a prefix or a suffix. So let's look for something to put as a prefix. Who can give me an idea of something we can put as prefix? Let's say at low level. At sir? Okay, let's add it to our prefix. Both of them are hard coded. So let's say she's at okay at why is that not working? Okay, at low level. Now, apply. Now, I can also edit this label and add this my description by the side. So let me go to description. I'm showing us these two ways. Let me add this as dash dash. Then add my prefix. Then you can add a break. So what that break will do is instead of having it linear, it will break it as if you're having multi-line text instead of a single line text. It's as if we press enter, it will move it to another line. That's what this break is for. As I said, this class is not us for annotation, but for the purpose of this class, I just need to go right to achieve our aim. So apply, I'll click OK. Then I'll load into projects. Do I want to save? No, and close. Overwrite existing version and its parameters. You see what's happening? Now, this description now. That means the description for this wastewater pipe. Let's edit and check the description here. Now let's change this to wastewater pipe. Apply. Okay. Now let's see what happens. You can see what happens. So if I do TG, automatically, it will take all the information we provided into Revit. The description information we provided into Revit and use that. Now, permit me to just do this the right way. Edit family. I don't like the way it is. The text are quite big for my liking, so let me just change this to 2 mm. Like, okay. Edit type is 2 mm. Okay. Then permit me to delete this because I want it as a single line text. Load it to project and close. You want to save changes? No. Provide the existing version and its parameters. Now we have 50 mm wastewater pipe. I can click this, edit type. I want it to have, you see that there are no leaders. I want it to have a leader. Arrow field 20, apply. Okay. Now, in my annotation, I can now say, it's easy for anybody that's looking at this to say, okay, this is a 50 mm wastewater pipe. So I'll do TG. We can say, annotate this. You can see now, because the description we gave here was cold water pipe. Now I prefer abbreviations because when you're putting this on sheets, it gives it a clean look. So permit me to change this description to CWP, cold water pipe. Apply. Okay. So I can align this. So this is based on text. This is a text, but now just to see what happens, you can see that this is a text. This is a tag. See what happens when I change the scale. 1:50. Both of them changes because they are dependent on the scale of my view. Now Control Z. That calculation I mentioned earlier, I will share it on the group. So it will allow you to be able to maintain a consistent text size across all your sheets. Now, I can decide to, let's just tag arbitrarily. 20 mm cool water pipe, 25 mm. This should be hot water pipe, HWP. Let me move this down. Then, but remember, I'll be tagging I'll have a separate sheet for my cold water pipe, and I'll have a separate sheet for my hot water pipe. Now, at the most basic level, we've seen the way we can tag. Another part of this I would like to show us is now where BIM building information modeling shines. I want to get my material quantities. Let's get our material takeoff. So we need to generate a schedule for our materials. Now, we are assuming that we've designed correctly. Now, as I said initially, the cost of change is the lowest during design as opposed to implementation. I have heard of several projects that they've been able to cut down costs. The largest train station that they're building in the world now is in China, and they use building information modeling. They're currently using building information modeling. And from what I read, they've been able to cut back about almost 20% in the original costs that they're supposed to use because of building information modeling. They've designed rightly, and because we've designed, look at what we've done here. We've tried to simulate what is going to happen in real life as much as possible. So that means wherever I'm going to have elbows, my number of quantity of elbows here should not exceed, give or take, what they should use on site. In addition to maybe 20% margin for wastage and all. So I'm not picking numbers out of the air. Now let's generate our schedule for our pipes that we generated. Now to generate our schedule, I will come to schedules. Under my project browser, let me make this larger. Under my project browser, I have my schedules. Our online participant, I hope you are together.
Yes.
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 Okay.
Yes.
Now, I want to generate a schedule I want to estimate my quantity of pipes, my quantity of sanitary fixtures, my quantity of pipe accessories that will take me to pipe this entire female toilets. Now let's generate that quantity. I'll come to my schedules / quantity. I'll right click, new schedules and quantity. You can see that we have different options here. New graphical column schedule. What we need here is schedules and quantities. We want Revit to pick this for us automatically. Now, what do we want to generate a schedule for? Let's say we want to generate a schedule for pipes. Let's look for our pipes. Pipe schedule. Now, don't let me go into schedule keys so as not to confuse us. New construction, I'll click OK. Now, what do we want to reference? What properties of these pipes do we want to reference? We want to know our lengths. We want to know what levels they are on. Definitely not. For example, if we're having G+10 building, I want to be able to say that, okay, this is the quantity of pipe that will finish ground floor separately, first floor separately, second floor separately, third floor separately. Now, I want my levels. Okay, there's no level here. Let me look for upper. Now, we don't have levels here, but we have this upper and then bottom elevation. So let's use upper top end elevation. Let's use this. Then I want my sizes of my pipes. I definitely want to know this size of my pipe. Then the system type. Because we have different systems. We have a cold water system, we have a hot water system, we have a wastewater system. Now, I want to know their sizes, then their length. L for length. I also want to know, what else do I want to know? Let me see. Let's say, family and type. I want to know the family and type I've used. Let me see family and type. So what the family and type is now, if you remember, we have a different pipe type. For example, on our pipes, we have PPR pipe, we have PVC pipe, we have cast iron pipe. Those are the family and type. We've said, and we've defined that when we are designing our system. We've said for cold water pipe, we've said we are using PPR. For soil waste pipe, we said we are using UPVC. So we want to also categorize based on the type. Now, this top end elevation, let me just put that last. What else? What other information do we need in this our schedule?
I could see reference level.
Reference level.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Let me take out this middle end elevation. Now we know our reference level. Now we can say, okay, if it's the ground floor, if it's the first floor. Now, first off, we want to sort. Now, what do we want to sort by? I want to sort it by system type. Why do I want to sort it by? Oh, no, let's say we'll sort. Okay, let me generate this in general so that I'll see. Don't let me assume. Let me just generate this and see how it looks like. Now, I need to just change my view to tab view so that we can be on the same page. Now, you can see that it's telling me I have 100 mm soil waste pipe. The length is 63 meter. Now we need to go and check our units. Now, for us to confirm the units you are using, click on Edit. I'll come to Formatting. I'll now go to Conditional Formatting. No, sorry, I'll go to Size. I need to know. Okay, it is based on our project units. Now, the one we can change is this length. Now, the length of our pipe, we want it as a summation. We don't want to tell us this section is 3 mm. We want to sum everything for me. So what I'll do is I'll add calculate totals. You can see here, when I click on calculate totals, then field formats, I want check. I want it to give me in meters. Then I want it to add the meter symbol to it. Now, for size is in mm. Now, I want it to give me my size, reference level. Now, we are done with this. Okay. Now you can see that can you tell me why it is reading 0? The reason why it's reading 0 is because the former unit it was referencing is in mm, which is the project unit. Now it's telling me that this length is 0 meters. Now, how do I ensure that it sums up all the pipe in that level? I'll now do edit type. This is where we now need to sort. I want it to sort by family and type first. And I don't want it to itemize every instance. You see the way it has itemized every segment of my pipe here like this. I don't want it to itemize it that way. Now, let us firstly sort by family and type first and see what happens. Family and type. Then, I don't want to itemize every instance. You see now, it's telling me that in my entire project, I'm having 2 types of pipe. Only PPR and UPVC. The total length of my PPR pipe I'm going to use to complete piping of my is 91 meters. The total quantity of UPVC pipe I'm going to use is 97 meters. Now, let's break this down further. Let's now say, let's sort it by system type. I now want to know what quantity of hot water, cold water, wastewater, and soil waste pipe I want to separate. Now, let's do it by system type. Okay. You can see what happens now. It's telling me the total quantity of domestic cold water pipe, irrespective of their size, whether 10 mm, 15 mm, is 69 meters. Hot water pipe, irrespective of their size, is 22 meters. Soil waste pipe, irrespective of their size, is 70 meters. Now, which that means what we need to do is we need to firstly sort by size. Now, in my entire project, I'm having, you understand what's going on now? I can break it down as much as I need to. The total quantity of 15 mm pipe I need in my project is 2 meters. The total quantity of 20 mm pipe I need in my project is 31 meters. Now, let's now sort by the length. You know the length is a formula. We are calculating it. Now, let me do family and type. Then sort by system type. Then sort by size. Sorry, system type. Then by size. Okay. Now, from here now, 15 mm cold water pipe I need for this. I'm going to be using on this project is 2 meters. You see the way we've now broken down even further now. We went from the total quantity, the total length of pipe as per the type, PVC, PPR, the total length, as per the system type. Now we are now breaking it down even further to say, okay, 15 mm pipe, how many meters of cold water 15 mm pipe will I need? It's telling me it's 2 meters. Now, there's a way I can add my 20% contingency to this formula. What I'll do is edit. I'll come to fields and add FX. This is where we can add calculation. I can say FX. Let's name this 20% additional for my contingency sum. You understand? Waste and all. Discipline, I'll say piping. I want it, common, I'll say length. I want the length. I'll now say, take this length, okay, then multiply asterisk by 1.2. Then, okay. I'll click okay. Now, it's saying it varies. I'll now come in, edit type, formatting, 20% additional. I'll change this to calculate totals and say okay. Now, I need to change this to meters. Thank you very much. So I'll go to field, I'll go to formatting, condition, 20% additional field format. Let me change this to meters and add the meter symbol. I'll click OK. Okay. Now, if you can see, it is rounding up. Now, let's change it to decimal. Let's give it like 2 decimal places. Formats, 20% additional field format. Let's make it 2 decimal places. Okay. Okay. Now, let's change this to also 2 additional 2 decimal places format. Length. Take this to field formats. Let's do 2 decimal places. Okay. Okay. Now, we've added our 20% additional. I don't need to go into Excel and start calculating. Now, we've been able to break down the quantity of materials required to pipe this section of the female toilet of the building. Now, let's now take it further. Let's assume we've been able to design for the entire floors. We can now do edits. Because we have our reference level, we can now say filter by reference level. If we say level 0 is our ground floor, say level 0. Okay. Now you can see that these pipes have reduced because we have some pipes which are below ground and we have some which are on the level above. I don't know if you remember when we were modeling. Now it has sorted this by the quantity of pipes exactly required for the ground floor with our additional sum. I hope you understand that now. And the best part of this is we can even export it to Excel. Do you understand? So I can decide file, export. I can export reports, schedule. Let's export my pipe schedule to, let me just put it under documents, ABCD, training. Let me just put it in save. Okay. Then I can go to my, where I've saved it. Pipe schedule. Now, if I decide, if I want to generate my bill of quantities now, you can see I can just take these quantities and generate my bill of quantities now. I hope you are together.
Okay.
Now. Yes, sir.
Okay, I missed 2 steps.
Okay. What part is that, sir? Hello, sir.
Okay. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can now.
Okay, number one is how you exported it to Excel.
Okay.
Secondly is that additional percentage. Mine was adding separately from the length. You understand? I don't know how you did the formula. I just missed that single step. That's all.
Okay. Now let me go back. Let me go back again. Let me do Control Z. Now, we've said that these are pipelines that we require. Now, I'll now go to Edit. I'll come to Fields. You can see this FX symbol. It's telling me calculated parameter. I'll click on it. Let me name this 20% additional sum. I'll pick, I don't want it to be a percentage. I want it to be a formula. I'll pick common. I'll pick length. Then I want the formula to reference the length of pipe. Then multiplied by 1.2. Let's say I'm doing 20% additional sum. I'll click OK. Then I will go to my sorting, formatting, 20% additional sum. Then I want this to calculate totals. If you remember, it is a formula. I want you to calculate the totals. I don't want you to pick everything one by one. Then I want to change this field format as well. Don't use project settings, meters, and give me a symbol. Okay, let's do 2 decimal places. Sorry, 2 decimal places. 2 decimal places. Let me do the same thing for my length and say 2 decimal places. Okay. Okay. And that's it. Now, for me to export this my pipe schedule to generate my bill of quantities, I'll come to File. On the far left, File, Export. You see this down arrow, just over it. If you scroll all the way down, you can see reports. When I hover over reports, I can see schedule, room and area. What I want to export is my schedule. I'll click on schedule. I want to export it here. Do I want it as a CSV file or a TXT file? I want it as a CSV file so that Revit, Excel can be able to read it. I'll click save. Revit is unable to write. Okay, let me give it another name because I already have one. Revision 2. And save. Export title, export column, blah, 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 like that. Okay. Now, I'll locate where I saved it to. Open. And I have my material takeoff. If I get what you are saying, I'll go to plumbing. Plans. I'll go to 0. Now, you are saying that this toilet on the male side should connect to the same stack. Now, let me show you something.
Yes.
Depending on create similar, depending on your design concept, some people will have something like this, create similar, 45, 45. Each one of them will now be connecting to both the toilet on the male and the female side. And at the end of the day, we'll now have one stack at this point. Drop pipe, -1,000. Now, but you know, that's why, as I said, this class is not a design class. You have to calculate your loading unit. You have to know your discharge rate. You need to know your filling factor. You need to know your filling factor. You need to know your slope. These are the factors that will determine if something like this can work or it won't work. So it depends on your design concept. If your calculation permits it, why not? But if you've done your calculation for your loading unit, you've determined your filling factor, you've determined your slope that you're going to use, and it's telling you that, okay, maybe you need to change to 150. That might be too big. Why not just have 2 different stacks? So that question, the answer to that question is not straightforward. It depends on your design concept and your calculations. I hope the answers that, sir.
Sure, sure. Thank you.
Yes.
Sir, I have one question. Can you please share some design guidelines so that we can do good plumbing?
Okay. So permit me to check who asked that question. Please, may I know who asked that question, please?
Yeah, Rahul.
Okay,
Sir.
Engineer Rahul.
Yeah.
Yes. So subsequently, we'll be having training on design of HVAC system, plumbing systems, um, electrical systems. Basically, this class does not end on Revit alone. We'll actually move into design as well, understanding the standards. However, for plumbing, some of the standards you can access you can use that we generally use is one, CIPC Guide G, two, Plumbing Engineering Service Design Guide, three, IPC code. So you can search online for those standards. Generally, for plumbing systems, you can access those standards. But as I said, this class is not only limited to Revit. We actually, in the future, we are going to move into plumbing design, firefighting design, and the calculations and everything involved. Even I am looking personally to speak with engineers there so that I can take medical gas pipeline systems as well, because I see that there are not many people that are in that area. So definitely this class is not limited to just Revit alone. We'll be moving to design of building services systems in full. I hope that answers your questions, Engineer Rao.
Yes, thank you, sir. I'll just request you if you can share the names of standards, like IPC, I have heard about, but other standards, I would request if you could share the names. I will explore them.
Okay, so I'll do that.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Any other question? No questions on how we generated our schedules, how we exported our schedules. No questions on our design. No questions on our tags. Okay, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
The question is, how can we do all the files of the message exactly somewhere? The domestic function
Separate. Okay. Now, someone is asking a question that how do we separate domestic cold water separate, domestic hot water separate? What Revit does is it's going to read all your pipes. What you can do is you can now do edit, you can now do filter by, you can now do family and type. I want to say filter by PPR. You can see it's only PPR pipes, domestic hot water, domestic cold water, and their sizes. So what we can do is use filter to sort them, then export. So I can filter by reference level, but it's not allowing me to filter by system type. What you can also do is to make sure you're able to easily read the schedule. When we've done this, I can now say add footer for system type. Now you can see it's telling me domestic cold water. This is my total for domestic. So you can see that I separated domestic cold water and domestic hot water. Now, let me remove this filter. None. Okay. You can see it has separated soil waste too and wastewater. So I can still export it, but you can see that I separated it in sections based on the system. Any other question from online attendees? Any other question from our online attendees? So if there are no other questions, as previous, I would like to encourage us to go through all these videos that has been shared, model the system for the uh, male bedroom, the place we've designated as the male bedroom. Search for families online for urinal to add to the male bedroom area. Now, some areas where you can find families will be listed as some websites where you can get families. Will be listed as and will be dropped on the group. So I would like to encourage us to model the rest of the system. And as I said, subsequently we'll be carrying out classes on design, calculations for building services in general. I'd like to invite Engineer Dial to come and round up this plumbing class.
Yeah, hello everyone. Hello.
Hello, sir.
Hello.
Good afternoon. Yeah, I think I can say good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
How are
Good
you?
afternoon.
I hope it's been an interesting journey.
Fine, very, very interesting. Very interesting, sir.
So, yeah, I think we are progressing and we are moving forward gradually. Yeah, and I think we are almost closing now. So, yeah, thank you everyone for joining. So, I just think that we now need to catch up. We are going to upload the video for yesterday today. I'm going to upload it latest by before 12 a.m. today, such that you can make use of it. Then we proceed from there. So what is more important is for you now to practice and complete the full model, because the goal is you are going to complete all these services. We are going to use the same model to do HVAC next week, firefighting and all those things. So we see everything that has been done. Then we'll ask you for feedback, testimony after all the class. You do a video testimony and you show us what you have done. You understand? We'll share it. So and it will encourage other people to learn Revit. It will encourage other people, it will give them the confidence that, oh, if I put my heart to these things, I can, because a lot of people have that fear, have that challenge, is this, is that, and all of those things. So we'll take testimony, video testimony from all of you. You share it on LinkedIn, you tag us, you tag me, you tag B-Scope Engineering Services, and then you take it off from there. So I believe that you have enough confidence to face this Revit as a software. If you're having any challenge, we can always, for me, it's just your timing. We can come online any day, anytime, and say that let's look at all the challenges we're having. You understand? So we can also give you like a couple of days more for you to complete your model. So it's not like if you want us to extend this class by 1 week, we can do it. You understand what I mean? It can be only online, it can be physical, it can be anyhow you want it. We can extend the class to ensure that everybody is carried along. You understand? There are lots we can do with Revit. So we are just showing you the basic and the ones that can support your workflow. You understand? So, and I believe with this, I think you are good to go. Yeah, plumbing system is, you can see all the errors, all the challenges it's having. So we made it a real life scenario class. So I think we are good, and yeah, we'll upload the videos for yesterday, today. The videos of today, I'm skeptical if we can do that today. So, but we can do it latest by tomorrow. We'll do that. So that's just it. Thank you. Thank you. I want to appreciate someone, especially I don't know if he's still on the call. I saw him earlier. Yusuf Abdul-Yakin. Yeah, thank you, Yusuf Abdul-Yakin. Maybe if you are watching this recording, you will see that later. He sent something to our physical audience. He's the one who gave us refreshment today. Thank you, Abdul Yakin Yusuf. Let's clap for him, please. Online people. All right. Thank you, everyone. So see you on Saturday. I believe by that time you would have ascended the use of Revit for plumbing services. All right now. See you guys tomorrow. Samuel too, thank you. It was the one that bought the water. Let's appreciate him.